Hey there guys, Wait here, and I want to say a few things before we start. So for one, this is not a hate video. I usually respond to videos where I expect misinformation to be within them, but Jar is actually a guy I am sub to, and whose content I really like, so this video comes from a place of admiration. Next, I'm going to put all the scans into the description box as usual, if you want to get a closer look at them. And please look at the screen real quick for a translator. I use very specific English-Japanese combination words when referring to Dragon Ball, and I don't want you guys to get confused, and I'm too prideful to start using the dub names. I'm going to try to keep things as brief as possible, but there's a lot to go over, and the mistakes are not minor. So if you're confused at all, just check the document linked down below with all the math and whatnot. Finally, I have no problem with the first 8 or so minutes of the video, so I'll be skipping ahead. Links in the box if you want to watch the whole thing for yourself.
But everything I've said so far was pretty much a waste of time, because all of this was about Super Perfect Cell. Goku fought regular Perfect Cell. So I'm just gonna say that Cell Saga Goku is about a half a solar system.
So I have to stop you right there, Chief. Goku fought Perfect Cell, yes, but a suppressed Perfect Cell. So if we grant the boost from Cell to Super Perfect Cell being 2 times, which is the same multiplier as Super Saiyan 2, you can't equate Goku to Cell here because he just isn't as strong as Cell, which is why he gave up. Now, how much power Cell used against Goku in his perfect form is debatable. Personally, I think Goku is only equal to half of Cell's power, 60% at most. So at best, you have to scale him from star level, probably above large star, but not nearly half solar system level.
Saga Goku. Super Saiyan 2 Goku is around the same power level as Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, who is said to be just over the power of Super Perfect Cell, making him around solar system level. Goku in his Super Saiyan 3 form is 4 times more powerful than that. So Super Saiyan 3 Goku is solar system level plus, right? Well, this is one way you can power scale Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but there are other ways you can do it. I'm just gonna call this lowball Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Other people say that Super Saiyan 3 Goku is multi-solar system level, considering that Buu did destroy a galaxy in a few years' time, which would require him to destroy multiple solar systems every single day.
If Buu destroyed an entire galaxy in a few years, this means at most it can only be 10 years, since if it was more than 10, it would have been stated as decades instead of years. The average galaxy has roughly 30 kiloparsecs dense with matter. 0.003 of 1 parsec is 1 light year in density. 30 kiloparsecs has similar density of 8 trillion light years.
And then there are other people who think that Super Saiyan 3 Goku is multi-galaxy level, because it was said that Buu would destroy the universe over time, and considering how big the universe is, it would require him to destroy multiple galaxies every single day. While I do think New 52 Superman can defeat lowball the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, with the speed at which Buu destroyed a galaxy, Super Saiyan 3 Goku would be billions to trillions of times the speed of light. I understand that a universe is much bigger than a galaxy, but Buu didn't just travel across the galaxy. He went all over it. A galaxy is not only long, it's also wide and thick.
1 decade has 87,600 hours. For Buu to destroy 30 kiloparsecs worth of matter in 87,600 hours, for each hour, he has to be traveling at least 785 billion times the speed of light.
While New 52 Superman is not even 300 billion times the speed of light. And speed is the best thing that's going for New 52 Superman. Even if we use the busting power of the low-balled Super Saiyan 3 Goku, he's still Solar System Plus, which is much more than what New 52 Superman can do. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Goku actually takes the victory! Now we're moving on to...
I skipped the explanation of how New 52 Superman beats Cell Saga Goku, because while simply put, I agree that Superman wins, just not for the same reasons that he does, but nothing worth arguing about until we get here, the nitty gritty. Now this is actually one of my biggest reasons for responding. I think the fight between New 52 Superman and Super Saiyan 3 Goku is actually a lot closer than you think it is, Jar. For one, I think he massively underestimated New 52 Superman's attack potency. I think solar system level is arguable for him given his feats. So to start off, star level for New 52 Clark is small time, which you agreed to by using his solar flare as supernova level, or smaller solar system, as you put it. But I'll just mention that he was able to destroy miniature red sun while weakened, and tank brown dwarf fragments. He's been able to defeat Hellspot, who can break apart stars with his bare hands, and he beat an underground warrior who he described made Sun Eaters seem weak in comparison. In terms of his solar system range abilities, he was able to move Brainiac's ship with help from Martian Manhunter, which has been calculated to equate to requiring solar system levels of energy due to it surviving inside of a black hole. Mutually, Superman himself was weakened while he went inside a black hole alongside. Now, I know people don't agree within the debating community about the destructive capacity or the energy output of a black hole, and I can understand that. So you can disregard all the black hole calculations that I just put up on the screen, and we will only use Brainiac's ship for this next part of the scaling. So Brainiac's ship's size has been calculated, and the energy output to move it based on its size in comparison to Earth is still solar system level. So I think a fight between Super Saiyan 3 Goku and New 52 Superman would probably be a lot more even than you think, whether you put them at solar system or galaxy level. As for Goku being faster, Superman's speed was done fresh off of him losing the Doomsday virus, and he was weakened. He even flew through more black holes on the way home, so it's possible he could have gone faster. The feat of him crossing the universe could even be calculated to be 90 trillion times the speed of light, which is much faster than what you gave it. So I think a fight between these two characters can go either way, with Goku being the more skilled fighter, while Superman has additional abilities such as his Frost Breath, which can turn the tide of the battle in his favor. It also depends on how long Goku can maintain Super Saiyan 3. In a living body, he'd lose the form within minutes. It's a little disappointing that you also didn't mention the difference between Goku having a living body and having a dead body, but perhaps I'm just splitting hairs. You definitely overlooked a lot of factors, and what is probably the best Goku vs Superman matchup you've done in your video so far, and maybe even in general. However, I think Superman's solar flare will ultimately end in his victory. His heat vision was able to break apart Brainiac's ship, and his solar flare is thousands of times stronger than his heat vision. A decisive win for the Man of Steel, even if I think the fight beforehand would be incredible.
Golden Age Superman. Golden Age Superman does scale to Silver Age and Post-Crisis Superman, although he is the weakest out of the three. Silver Age and Post-Crisis Superman are faster than the average Green Lantern, who are quadrillions of times the speed of light. Yeah, Super Saiyan 3 Goku may almost be a trillion times the speed of light, but there's a few digits between quadrillion and trillion. But just because Golden Age Superman is so much faster, it doesn't mean he has the destructive capability to take out Super Saiyan 3 Goku, right? Well, even if we say that Super Saiyan 3 Goku is multi-galaxy level, Golden Age Superman has multiple Universal Plus feats. He has tanked an anti-monitor attack, charged with the energy of the entire anti-universe. He has shattered space and time in his fight with Post-Crisis Superman. He has smashed a dimensional barrier. And he even finished off the anti-monitor. So yeah, Golden Age Superman completely stomps Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Oh, and one more thing about Golden Age Superman. He's so fast that he can actually travel backwards in time. But I am trying to keep time hacks out of these fights. Now we're going to move on to Super Saiyan 4 Goku from GT. Hold on a second, just...
And now, fans of my channel, understand why I have to do this video.
The robot? Doesn't GT have a separate canon from Dragon Ball Super? Well, yes, it does. But most versions of Superman we have used up to this point have completely separate continuities, so I don't really see what the problem is. I'm one of those people who believe that at the start of GT, Goku in his base form is just as strong as he was as a Super Saiyan 3 by the end of Dragon Ball Z. For three reasons. One, Goku in his base form is just as powerful as Oob, who is the reincarnation of Kid Buu, and it's heavily implied that after Oob did several years of training with Goku, he was just as powerful as Kid Buu. Reason number two, Goku...
You're good so far, but you should mention that in the 28th Budokai, Goku thought Oob could have beaten Mr. Buu, and specifically said Oob lived up to his expectations, heavily implying that without training, Oob is already stronger than Fat Buu, and thus with 5 years of training, him reaching the strength of his old incarnation is only logical.
Goku said that General Rildo was just as powerful as Majin Buu, and Goku fought him in his base form.
Actually, Goku said Rild was stronger than Buu, not as strong. The only time he would say as strong is for low balls. Rild is actually considerably stronger than Buu. So much so that Goku is impressed by how much stronger he is than Buu.
And no, Goku had no reason to lie about General Rildo being just as powerful as Majin Buu. And reason number 3 is, Goku casually takes on other Super Saiyans in his base form. But what
Now this is probably the worst reason you gave. If they were all like Cell Saga level, it wouldn't be that impressive at all. You should mention how the Super Saiyan Gohan that Goku beat is a Gohan who never stopped training after the Buu arc, which is stated in the GT Perfect files, or how Goten in his base form is stronger than Teen Baby. But, not to worry, Jar. I have my own videos on those subjects that will be out eventually.
is the multiplier for Super Saiyan 4? Well, a lot of people would say it's a 4,000 times multiplier because that's what Death Battle said. But the true multiplier for Super Saiyan 4 has actually never been released. What has been released is that Super Saiyan is a 50 times multiplier, Super Saiyan 2 is twice as powerful as that, and Super Saiyan 3 is 4 times as powerful as Super Saiyan 2. But there are data books that say Ultra Super Saiyan is 10 times more powerful than regular Super Saiyan.
The swollen muscles of Vegeta allows to see the increase of his strength. Trunks acquires strength 10 times superior to Vegeta, but his capacity for movement is more limited. Or you could also argue it's saying Trunks himself acquired 10 times and not 10 times of Vegeta.
And the Mastered Super Saiyan form is even more powerful than that. If you take these data books as canon, that would make Super Saiyan a 500 times multiplier, Super Saiyan 2 a 1000 times multiplier, and Super Saiyan 3 a 4000 times multiplier. And there are plenty more wank arguments for Super Saiyan 4.
Now, I think it's really dismissive to call them wink arguments, and it really makes me wish that I would have given you the GT part of your information like I intended to, but I lost track of time. Now I can understand not wanting to use multiplier because there's no official one, but the 10 times boost for Super Saiyan 4 existed before Death Battle, and it's mostly used because of the association with the Grade 8 transformation. Also because the Kamehameha times 10 is a thing, but let's not discuss that. People who propose multipliers higher than 4,000 aren't doing it to wink. They're doing it because the number isn't functional with what the anime shows. So I'm going to try to put it as simply as possible. So if you say Goku in his Super Saiyan 3 form in GT, in the Baby arc is a 1. Baby in his first form was stronger than Goku. Baby then transforms 2 more times, and then he gets a 10 times boost from the Grade 8 transformation. So you're saying a 10 times boost is enough for Goku to cover that much distance and become equal to Baby? It doesn't make sense. For that to work, that would mean Super Saiyan 3 Goku would have to be as strong as Super Baby Vegeta 2, which obviously isn't the case. So a 10 times boost from Super Saiyan 3 to Super Saiyan 4 is not functional as a multiplier. It just doesn't make any sense.
If you believe that Super Saiyan 4 is a 4,000 times multiplier, then Goku would be able to travel over 3 quadrillion times the speed of light. But he would still be slower than the average Green Lantern. And we already established that Golden Age Superman scales above them. If you believe that Super Saiyan 4 is a 40,000 times multiplier, Goku's speed would still not even be half as much as Golden Age Superman's. Even if we gave Goku another 10 times multiplier to his Super Saiyan 4 form, he would be faster than the average Green Lantern, but as we established, Golden Age Superman scales above them, not equal to them. However, there's still a good chance that Goku's speed would be above Golden Age Superman's. But his busting power wouldn't be strong enough to do any real damage against Golden Age Superman. Even if we multiply multi-galaxy level by 1,000,000, it's still much less than a universe. So Golden Age Superman once again takes the win. Now we move on to End of Z Vegito. Now I personally don't think
You serious?
Now, there exists a few problems with what just transpired. Firstly, he didn't do GT Goku any justice. Now, for his speed, you're going off of calculations for Super Saiyan 3 Goku from the Buu saga. But this again fails to account for multiple things. Number 1, Goku is only Super Saiyan 3 Buu saga level at the start of GT. By the time he arrives on planet M2, he's already surpassed his Super Saiyan form from the start of the show. We know this because Goku fights the Sigma Force, who have recorded the data of all of Goku's fights, thanks to Gil. When Goku defeats them, they say he has incredible power that wasn't in the data, and Goku reveals he's been suppressing himself to mimic how strong he used to be to gain a strategic advantage against them. So that alone is a 50 times boost for Goku. Then he fights General Road, where he makes the Majin Buu statement. Again, keeping in mind that everything we've said up to this point, it doesn't make sense for Goku to be referencing Fat Buu, because he could have beaten him during the Budokai at the end of Z, and it can't be Kid Buu, again, because Goku was at that level before his power-up, meaning he's referencing Buuhan here. And I mean, that's a 100% fact. I did an entire video on why General Road is stronger than Buuhan. The audio is a little bad, and I'm remaking it, but you can watch it for the full rundown at this point. Also, shame on Jar for not mentioning the arguments over which form of Buu Goku was talking about. Alright, next, this also ignores that in the Super 17 saga, Goku got a 64 times boost in power, seeing that his Super Saiyan form did better against 17 than Oob, and this means he not only surpasses Super Saiyan 3 form from the previous arc, but also Oob. And I estimated that Oob was about 8 times stronger than Goku, scaling from baby. Now, this alone brings your number of 3 quadrillion times the speed of light to 9,600 quadrillion times the speed of light, or more accurately, 9.6 quintillion. Keep in mind that this is without adding SSJ multipliers on top of it, purely base Goku speed. Which reminds me that I need to do my GT power scaling video ASAP. Now, even if we remove the 8 times and say Oob is only 2 times stronger than Goku, that's still 2.4 quintillion times the speed of light. Again, significantly higher than what you gave him. And I didn't even mention the fact that that's just base Goku being 2.4 quintillion times the speed of light. So in reality, he'd be 4,000 times faster than that, and that is using the gross lowball for the Super Saiyan 4 multiplier, which doesn't work. Using my 4,000 times multiplier just puts Superman to shame. Now, I think it's fair to say Superman could stack up. It's just saying that with the feats you provided, this is a wash in Goku's favor. Add on to that the complete disregard for Super Saiyan 4 Goku's techniques and skills. Super Saiyan 4 Goku was able to adapt and counter an attack after coming into contact with it once. His 10 times Kamehameha can deal 22.5 times more damage than he himself can output. And that's not even mentioning Goku's Ryuken, which again can deal way more damage than he can. GT Goku isn't just Buu Saga Goku further along. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve that would make fighting him difficult for Earth 2 Superman. Also, did you imply that Vegito is stronger than Super Saiyan 4 Goku? Broku and I have both done videos debunking that mess. I guess I'll hear you out, but the disrespect you're putting on GT Goku is really appalling.
Buuhan is universal or multiversal. Well, he was going to destroy the universe by colliding it with other universes. That's more being universal / multiversal through hacks. However, Super Saiyan Vegito did still stop his hacks from destroying the universe. So I would say Super Saiyan Vegito is multiversal, but very low multiversal. And while it's not outright said he can go Super Saiyan 3, considering that Gotenks can go Super Saiyan 3, I have no doubt that Vegito can do the same, which would give him an 8 times multiplier. Now, it's hard to say exactly what the multiplier for fusion is. In the anime, it's said to be tens of times as powerful. There are data books that say it's dozens of times as powerful. I have seen other data books that say it's Goku times Vegeta, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. While I do believe that Super Saiyan 3 Vegito does have similar busting power to Golden Age Superman, I don't think his speed is even close. He hasn't ever shown any good speed feats, and there's a lot of conflicting statements on just how strong the fusion multiplier is. Keep in mind, Super Saiyan 3 End of Z Saga Goku is not even a trillion times the speed of light, but Golden Age Superman is quadrillions of times the speed of light. So, I'm just gonna give Golden Age Superman the victory once again. But now we're gonna move on to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta.
So, no explanation then. Alright, allow me to explain why Vegito is not stronger than Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Briefly, if you want a whole explanation, watch my video or watch Broku's. Now, the easiest way to prove Super Saiyan 4 Goku is the strongest is by using Baby's statement that he was the strongest Saiyajin in history. There's no reason not to include Vegito in that statement, so Baby was stronger than him, and thus so was Goku at Super Saiyan 4. There's also a statement in the GT Perfect files that Baby is stronger than any Tsukurojin or Saiyajin in the past, which would include Vegito once again. And this is ignoring how scaling puts base Goku above Bulan while base Vegito in the anime is even to him at best. And that's just Goku at the end of the first arc of GT, not even the end of GT like you're using in this video. No matter how you slice it, Vegito is not comparable to GT characters, and it is shocking that in 2019 I still have to point that out. So if you're going to give Vegito multiversal busting power, you'd have to do the same for GT Goku. And I think you mean multi-universal there. Now that we're on the subject, your inability to distinguish between the anime and the manga has got really jarring. You used anime exclusive feats to put Vegito over GT Goku. At least I assume that's what your rationale was, you didn't really exploit it. But this is again not accounting for GT Goku and GT in general being a sequel to the anime. Following that logic, Vegito in the manga didn't show anywhere near that much power. And you cannot argue that the two continuities are the same, because the anime explicitly states things that contradict the manga, such as Goku and Kid Buu being the strongest. Also, you skipped to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. What about Super Gogeta? Not trying to scale him at all? I mean, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta obviously scales above him, but the fact that you didn't mention him is just really weird. Anyway, you should have been using anime and manga versions of Dragon Ball characters. Well, Goku, really. And in the correct power scale, you would go from Super Saiyan 3 Buu Saga Goku in the manga, to manga Vegito, to anime Goku, and then to anime Vegito. Followed or preceded by Super Gogeta, and then end of GT Goku. But, sure, go ahead and skip to Gogeta.
If you're one of those people who believe that Gogeta is not Universal Plus, he was just destroying holes in space-time which would have eventually destroyed the universe, then I got one more universal statement for you. Omega Shenron did claim he was going to destroy the universe, and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was way above him. Also, while Pikkon is not canon in the Dragon Ball manga, he is canon in the GT anime. If Goku and Pikkon went from Grand Kai's planet to Hell, then they would be quadrillions of times the speed of light. But this speed feat is very questionable, especially because I don't think the animators or writers knew just how big Heaven and Hell were in the Dragon Ball universe.
Seems weird to not count the feat just because you don't think the writers intended it to be that way. Even though that's not why you drop a feat. You drop feats because they're inconsistent. And you didn't prove that it was. Add on to that the fact that in the anime, Kid Buu flew to the Kaioshin realm, which is outside the macrocosm, according to the map. It seems pretty consistent with what the anime staff thought about Dragon Ball characters' travel speed at the time.
And I didn't even include other speed feats by Golden Age Superman, such as him going so fast he went backwards in time. But even if we don't include it, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is several thousand times more powerful than Super Saiyan 3 Vegito. So
So is Super Saiyan 4 Goku, man, come on. But you didn't really catch on to that. Not to mention you skipped a version of Super Saiyan 4 Goku. You may consider it just a power-up, but Super Saiyan 4 Goku, limits surpassed, would go before Gogeta. You clearly don't have a problem using power-ups because you used post-Yardrat Goku. And if we can use that, then a whole other transformation should have made the list. Really shoddy work here, not gonna lie. Oh, and for reference, this is a Goku who surpassed his limits and is stronger than a 10 times Kamehameha from normal Super Saiyan 4 Goku by a large margin. Add on to that the fact that Super Saiyan 4 Goku can adapt to Superman's hexes, and the fact that he's already been immune to freezing attacks thanks to his fight with Zanzing. And limit surpassed Super Saiyan 4 Goku should be the one having a close fight with Superman, not Gogeta. This isn't even mentioning the Ryuken, which has the ability to nearly destroy Yi Xinglong at his full power. And that is the same Yi Xinglong that was threatening to destroy the Dragon Ball macrocosm with his negative energy. And that is 10 times Kamehameha, is even stronger than that, but, you know, these are just little details.
I think his speed and busting power is above Golden Age Superman's abilities. But unfortunately for Gogeta, in his Super Saiyan 4 form, he can't stay fused for very long, and he's very reckless. He pretty much has the ignorance of Goku combined with the arrogance of Vegeta.
So like I was saying before, Goku should be the one that's positioned right now, not Gogeta. Second, Gogeta can remain fused for 10 minutes, minimum. 15 minutes maximum. Yeah, it's not a lot, but that's actually huge given that Gotenks can only remain fused as a Super Saiyan 3 for 5. While Gogeta does have an arrogant personality, seeing as Goku said that's just how he and Vegeta act when they're fused, you should keep in mind that during the fight with Yi Xinglong, he was holding back in order to get him to release all of his negative ki so he could reverse it. If Gogeta were to fight Superman, he wouldn't have the same motivation and thus would take the fight much more seriously. And it should be kept in mind that the 9.6 quintillion speed I gave base Goku, 2.4 on the low wall, was not only 40,000 short, you can turn that up to 8 million, because Goku breaking his limits is a 200 times multiplier, as I discussed in my Limit Breaker Goku video. Adding in multipliers, Goku's speed jumps to insane heights, 76.8 septillion to be exact, 19.2 on the low ball. Then keep in mind that Gogeta is stronger than Goku and ergo faster, by a lot. Super Saiyan 4 Goku couldn't hurt Yi Xinglong without a strength boosting technique, like the Ryuken, while Gogeta can defeat Yi Xinglong with a single finger, and that's stated multiple times, in the anime and guides, and on Toei's website.
And Golden Age Superman has a lot more hacks than Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, so it is possible that with his intelligence and with his hacks, he could outsmart Gogeta long enough to get him to defuse. So this fight could really go either way.
Like I said before, it should be Super Saiyan 4 Goku in this fight, and not Gogeta. But since you are using Gogeta, you should be mentioning that Gogeta has the Super Saiyan 4 ability to adapt to techniques and hacks as the fight goes along. And with the superior DC, he should be able to win before timing out. Not that he would need to, because as I said, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, in his limit surpassed form, should be the transformation you're currently talking about. Now that this is out of the way, I stand by my statements that limit surpassed Super Saiyan 4 Goku should be in and win this fight, due to him already having resistance to Superman's abilities, and he'll be able to keep that up for a decisive victory. Not to mention Super Saiyan 4 has great stamina, and Superman would have to greatly weaken him for him to even reach his previous Super Saiyan 4 level. Plus, GT Goku is an incredibly strategic fighter, holding back against the Sigma Force in order to lower the guard, tricking Xinglong into looking at his reflection so he could counter his superior speed, using the afterimage technique to confuse Yi Xinglong, and for the record, Gogeta has all of that skill, plus Vegeta's. But everything I said is an extremely hypothetical situation, because you made a major error when scaling Vegito. Based on the stats you gave Earth 2 Superman, you had Vegito above him. Because I proved GT Goku is above Vegito, that also means he wins without Super Saiyan 4, meaning you should really still be on GT Goku for the baby saga in the series. And that scan of Superman phasing was Prime Earth Superman, not Earth 2. Just thought I mentioned that. Now your series started off strong, but it fell apart in this video. A great underestimation of GT characters and New 52 Superman. Entire versions of both characters are simply left out of this video. I thought maybe they'd make it into the next one, but Super Doom is missing from the series, as is Limit Surpassed Goku. And also no separation of GT Goku by arc. That's pretty weak. No Gold Nozaru. There's just a lot of missed opportunities in this video. So I hope I've enlightened you to the scaling of these characters. The proper scaling, that is. Again, not really sure how GT Goku got such a bum rap in your video. I'm not sure who gave you the information for that or how you determined any of it, but it's just really abysmal, to say the least. And I want you to know that it's not your fault. When you set out to do this video series, it was a monumental task of you doing every version of both characters. So it's understandable that eventually you'd fuck up somewhere. The lack of mention from movie versions of Goku and Super Gogeta was another huge letdown. But again, like I said, not your fault. I also didn't really agree with the speeds and power you assigned to certain characters in this video, but I hope I did my best to counter that throughout this. Again, I took a few liberties and was just going along with what you said for the sake of proving why what you said is wrong by simply applying scaling. And that's actually something I do a lot for Dragon Ball. I think it's really easy to argue speed in DC and Dragon Ball varying by a lot, but you can't argue with the scaling. So, like, regardless of what power level you put Buu at, you can't really argue that GT Goku isn't stronger than Buu. So if you're going to scale Buu to GT Goku, you have to then evenly apply the speed increase and strength increase from that scaling, which is what I did in this video, even if I may not necessarily agree with the speed you gave Boo / Super Saiyan 3 Goku to scale him off of. But sadly, your mistakes do not end with this video. They continue into part 4, which is why I will be making a part 2 of this video. For now, I would like to thank everyone for watching, advise you to subscribe for part 2, comment down below if you want to debate any of what I just said, or hop into our Discord server, which is also going to be linked in the description box. Like if you enjoyed. This has been Taff and Wait of the Supreme Duo channel, signing off.